profited almost 30K on this session. Just ran like a god, to be honest. All right, guys, welcome back to the vlog. I just finished eating some leftover Thai food that I had from last night. You know, just chilling at the crib. We are going to eat this for breakfast. I woke up literally 20 minutes ago, about to head out to LA to play some 25-50 with a $50 big blind ante. I played with several of these players before, and actually probably several of the players that you guys have seen on my channel already. And a majority of the players today are gonna be younger, more aggressive, and just gonna be putting me in tougher spots. Obviously it's gonna be a tough game, but I'm excited. Let's get it. Pretty fucking exciting, man. What more could you ask for other than a Wednesday at the Commerce playing some high stakes poker on a live stream? We gotta stop in like 28 minutes or so, and then we're gonna get to a charger, gonna have to charge up, and I'll probably be there a little bit early today. One of the best things, I cannot stress this enough, about having a Tesla is just the autopilot, man. Let's go. All right, so I just got to a Tesla stop, so I'm literally charging my car, got a charger. So I thought I'd hop on here and just kind of like give you guys a little bit of advice that I think is super, super important if you want to climb the stakes, get better, you know, potentially play poker for a living. One thing that I've always had trouble wrapping my head around is with people talking about game selection, game selection, game selection. When I actually think like one of the biggest reasons that I've been able to climb the stakes in a short-ish period of time is because I always loved to battle. If there was a table that I knew that there were a lot of good players at that table when I was playing 1-3 and there were tons of tables to choose from, I would literally go to that table so I could battle with the best regs in the game, right? Like I want to challenge myself. I want to play tough competition. I want to, you know, see what people are made of, you know, get in tough spots. And the only way you do that is by learning the hard way. You know, you can't study for the pressure moments. You can't study for the big spot, the big hero call. But if you continuously put yourself in a situation where you're going to be challenged, you know, you're going to be put to the test, I think naturally those things will start to happen for you. Like as you kind of move into whatever it might be, like 5-10, 10-20, even 2-5, and these regs are better, if all you were doing at the previous stake was just trying to play the easiest games that you could and make the easiest way to win 10 big blinds, 20 big blinds an hour, that's not really gonna serve you any justice in terms of helping you progress. You know what I mean? Like in a video game, when you're trying to get to level 100 and you're trying to max out your stats, what you're not gonna do is sit at the first village and continue to battle the level 1 monsters over and over again, right? Because that's not gonna give you enough XP points for you to actually get to level 100 at any sort of reasonable amount of time. What you're gonna do though is you're gonna go from village to village looking for tougher and tougher monsters so that you can level up faster, right? Because these guys are giving you more XP. Even though I don't know if I'm ready, and you're just gonna die, right? You're just gonna die there and you're just gonna have to restart from that level or whatever it might be. You're gonna move up stakes too fast sometimes if you're doing things correctly, and you're gonna have to move back down. You're gonna have to move back down because you just simply weren't prepared. But that experience that you gain from trying is going to go so far in your career. Like, so I would just try to go find tables where, you know, the opponents are good and I respect them and I want to play against them and I want to learn from them and just take something away every session, right? But I think that pathway is much faster than just this path, right? It's gonna be choppy and it's gonna be scary and you're gonna go through roller coasters, but if you can make it to the top, that kind of like wavy road, the windy road, is going to be a lot faster than just the super slow flatline linear thing. So that's what I would say if I had some advice, you know, for you young guys. Don't be afraid to battle. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself. Don't be afraid to shot take. For as long as I can remember, I've been, you know, shot taking, trying to play against the toughest opponents. And granted, I wasn't ready for a lot of it, right? And yeah, a lot of times when I did it, it went poorly and it didn't work out for me, but that's what allowed me to, you know, at least move up a lot faster than a lot of people normally would. On the way to the Commerce still, it's 12:54. I was supposed to get there like 10 minutes ago, but the traffic in LA is absolutely horrific. I've basically been in standstill for half an hour, so it looks like I'm gonna be fucking late. All right, right, so we just arrived at the Commerce, getting ready to hop in now. I'm just valeting the car. Let's get in there, see what we can do. We're playing 25-50 with a $50 big blind ante. There's gonna be a bunch of side games on, I assume, like the stand-up game, Nick game, and then potentially like the bounty game, but I think those are the main ones. So we'll get in there, see what we can get popping. Should be a good one. Let's go. All right, we're at the cashier right now, getting our chips, $40,000. Let's see if we can get going. All right, so as you guys can see, the starting chip counts. We're gonna be starting off this stream with $10,000. Most of the players are starting around with $10,000 as well. Should be a fun one. Let's jump right into it. For the first major hand of the stream, we are in the big blind with 2 ducks. We've won the past 2 hands without much resistance, and this means if we are able to find a way to win the next hand, we will acquire $300 from each player on top of the pot that we win. Action folds over to Phil on the button and he raises to $1,425. This is obviously a massive raise, but things always get a bit weird when somebody has 2 ducks, and one of the strategies a player might use to play defense is a larger open size. When the action gets over to us, we look down at Queen Jack suited in the big blind. This is a premium hand with 2 ducks, and even though the raise size is huge, we're definitely going to be playing this one. It's basically just a matter of if we want to call and take things post flop, or just jam our stack in and run our equity if Phil does make the call. I decide on the aggressive option here. I jam for $9,325 effective, and Phil does not take too long before putting his chips in the middle.
Kicker.
A very good kicker.
Oh, king.
Thank you.
All right. Queen. Oh.
Okay, here we go. It's basically a flip.
That's perfect.
God, I wish we could do this, roll this out 3 times. This is how they break me. High volatility, swingy dingy things.
Oh, so far so good. Oh, shit.
Every time.
I dodged some hearts.
7 of diamonds, maybe?
7 of diamonds be good for
9
Phil.
of clubs.
Yes, king.
7 of diamonds, 9 of
He's a
clubs.
black card.
Oh, there
Oh,
Ace or a king, I guess, maybe.
damn.
King is big.
What a flop. Ace or king on the river.
2. Flush.
Flushy.
Yeah, I have a little over 10.
Okay.
Global Kenny gambling. Because he had the 2 ducks.
And he's got the duck, 6,
Gonna-
7, 8.
Take Phil out in this
Wait, I have
hand.
a little left, I think. 6, 7, 8.
Wow.
How did the...
Yeah, I think
Gamble. We're just getting started.
We're gonna be scooping up the first big pot of this stream and get the early double up, securing and setting a nice tone for the rest of the stream. We also collect $300 from each player for winning the duck game, making this pot a bit over 20K. Let's go. In the next interesting hand, we see Rich Asian Bro raise under the gun to 150. We look down at ace 4 of clubs in the hijack and decide to 3-bet this one up to 500. He makes a quick call and we go heads up to a flop. The flop comes 9-5-2 rainbow with no club. When he checks it to us, I'm gonna start betting with my gut shot. I make it $500 to go. Rich Asian Bro now decides that 500 is not enough and check raises us to 1400. You could probably make a case for folding this hand right away on the flop without a backdoor flush draw, but I didn't come on the show to fold gut shots to 1 check raise, so I'm gonna peel one off here in position. The turn comes the 6 of clubs, and this is honestly a pretty bad card for me because a lot of hands that Rich Asian Bro would check raise as a bluff on the flop have just gotten there. A hand like 3-4 suited is now a straight. A hand like 7-8 suited now is also a straight. This is just generally speaking gonna be a really good card for his range. He now decides to fire for 1800, and at this point, I think there's no way that we can possibly continue. I let it go, and he is gonna scoop this pot up. He was bluffing with ace 3 suited, and I think this is a really well played hand by him. Gotta just tip your cap sometimes when your opponent is going to make a move at the right time. Strap in for another monster pot here. Mark opens in the hijack to 150 and Dan 3-bets from the small blind to 700. That's when we wake up with ace king offsuit in the big blind. We're gonna 4-bet this one We decide on a sizing of $2,100. Mark makes a quick fold and action gets back over to Dan. He goes into the tank for a while and looks like he has a real decision here with a pretty big hand. Seems like my read was correct because after some thought, he decides to 5-bet shove for $9,400. Looks like we're going to be playing another $20,000 pot right away here in the first hours of the stream because there is no shot I am folding ace king in this spot against a player that is capable of having bluffs here.
Both players have played bravely with a lot of gamble, man.
Dan, get it in.
Dan ran into it.
You got any good last time?
I
Need some help here.
This time, man. No, that's not it.
Not anymore. Oh,
Diamonds and
Jack.
Jack.
4 diamonds.
Runner
or a jack
diamond
and
or
clubs.
jack of
Oh, a
clubs.
little bit more outside.
Global Kenny
Or even an ace of
crushing
diamonds would be
at
good.
the moment.
Jack.
Now you have 4 outs.
All right. I need a trip to the teller.
Oh, damn. Global Kenny destroying.
Global Kenny wrecking ball today.
Nice hand, sir.
That was right.
Thank you.
Got the nicest watch at the table.
We are absolutely cooking to start this stream off. Already up $20,000 and the stream isn't even halfway over yet. These are what the mid-session chip counts are looking like. We are sitting at the top of the cumulative winnings board. Let's go. Let's see if we can keep things rolling. A few hands later, I'm up a decent chunk and the table is starting to loosen up. The $100 straddle is on and Ifan opens from +2 to 250. Rich Asian Bro calls on the button and we overcall with Jack 9 of hearts from the big blind. K is going to complete from the straddle and we're going to go 4 ways to a flop. The flop comes 4-4-8 rainbow and action ends up checking around. The turn comes the 9 of spades, giving us top pair and introducing tons and tons of draws. I decide to lead into the field for 600, maybe a little ambitious, but also I feel like there's a ton to get value from here. K is the only customer for the 600. We go heads up to a river, which comes the Jack of diamonds. While this does bring in 10-7 and Queen 10, I still think this hand is more than strong enough to value bet here, targeting a hand like 9, an 8, or even a hand like Jack 10. I decide to barrel for $1,800 into $2,300 pot. K does not take too long before putting in some calling chips, and we are going to be good again for a healthy $6,000 pot. Quick mid-session update here at Bally's live at the Commerce. Off to a super, super hot start. First hand, literally off the deck that I get dealt in, or first major hand, Phil opens the button to like 1,400 because I have 2 ducks, and I just send it from the big blind with Queen Jack of hearts and end up sucking out versus his ace king for like a 20K plus pot. And then, yeah, I was just like, it's Queen Jack suited. What can I do? I gotta go all in. But after that, just kind of ran pretty hot for a little, and then got it in ace king versus ace queen for another 20K plus pot. So we're up like 20K right now. Pretty good start to the stream. About halfway through. Let's keep it going.
Some cake coming out of sea bass at 5 p.m.
Oh, you got a time.
Yeah. Because I'll forget. I get in the frenetic thing of it, and then I forget to, if I just plan it.
Quit counting your money, it's early.
Yeah.
I know. That's why I gotta put it on video before I lose it all. The next interesting hand of the stream picks up with the $100 straddle on L. It folds to us in the small blind and we raise to $300 with 10-9 of hearts. Only L makes the call and we go heads up to a flop of ace deuce 5 with 2 hearts and a spade. We decide to put out a continuation bet for 200 and L now raises in position to $800. With a flush draw, I'm going absolutely nowhere. I make the call, out of position, and the turn ends up getting us there immediately. It comes the 6 of hearts. We check it over to L, and he continues to ramp up the pressure and bets $2,000 into $2,300. Pretty much a pot size bet here. While we do have a super strong hand, I don't think raising the 10 high flush is a great option, given that he could still have better flushes than us. But more importantly, we want to allow him and give him some rope to continue representing the flush if he is bluffing. If we raise now, he's just going to be folding out all of his bluffs and oftentimes calling us with stronger flushes than what we have. That being said, we make the call and head to a river. The river comes the Jack of Hearts, bringing 4 hearts on board now. Now if he was bluffing with the King of Hearts or the Queen of Hearts, he is beating us, but I'm still not planning to fold to any reasonable size bet here. I check it over, pretty much hoping he does absolutely anything but go all in. After some deliberation, he checks his hand back, we table our flush, and we're good for this $6,300 pot. He was bluffing with 10-4 offsuit, which is a bit annoying to see in hindsight because if the 4th heart doesn't come out, I'm pretty sure he's going to feel pretty inclined to bluff a lot of different rivers, which I'll have a very straightforward decision against. We're still riding the high from the early pots and we peel another premium. The 100 is on again in this hand and Dan opens up the action from the hijack to $300. We 3-bet next to act with ace-king offsuit to 1K and Mark cold calls from the straddle. Dan also decides to come along for the ride, so we're going to go 3 ways to a flop. The flop is pretty nice. It's ace-queen-8 rainbow, and when action checks over to us, we're just going to be putting in a continuation bet here. We bet for 1K and both players make a pretty quick call. The turn comes the 7 of hearts, and action checks over to us again. And I think with ace-king here, we can bet sometimes, we can check sometimes. I decided to bet this time for $5,000 into the 6.1K pot. In hindsight, I think this bet is a little bit on the big side. I think something like 4K, 4.5K is a little bit better. Either way, both players didn't really have much here, so they both make some pretty quick folds, and we're going to scoop up another pretty decent sized pot. These medium pots do add up over time, and taking down a lot of these pretty consistently has been helping me build up my stack so far. In the next hand, Phil Locke decides to open up from +1 to 150, and Dan makes the call from the hijack, and that's when we peel ace-king suited in the cutoff and bump it up to $700. It folds over to Ifan, and now he has that look on his face where he wants to get involved. He puts out a cold 4-bet to $2,000 from the big blind. Locke and Dan get out of the way and the action is back over to me. We are super deep. Ifan is the effective stack and he started with almost $20,000 and the straddle was off for this hand as well. I think we really only have 2 options here. Either we can just call and take this one post flop in position. I think putting in another raise is also reasonable, something like $5,000. I decided to just call this time in position and battle it out post flop. The flop comes queen 8-5 with 2 spades and 1 heart. Ifan now continues for $2,000 into 4.4K. And with 2 overcards, a backdoor flush draw, a backdoor straight draw, we're just not going to be folding. We peel 1 and head to the turn. The turn is the 6 of spades. Ifan now decides to slow down and check it over to me. I decide to check it back and head to the river. The river is another queen. Ifan now bets $4,600 into $8,400 pot. Initially, I actually thought that I might make a really light hero call here, but after a little bit of thinking, I came to my senses and realized that it would just be a little bit too light to call with ace-king here. I think I'd prefer to have pairs on the board, pocket 9s, pocket 10s, pocket jacks, which I'll have here all the time. I decided to throw this one into the muck and move on to the next hand. It's a pretty good thing that I did because he had queen 10 of hearts for a pretty light 4-bet, but rivered trips. We would have been stationing him off here, and it would have been a pretty bad call if we decided to put the money in. Things have obviously been going pretty smoothly so far, but this next hand gets pretty weird pretty fast. Phil opens under the gun to 150, and we're in the hijack with 9-10 suited. We could 3-bet, we could call. We decide to call this time, and this ends up inviting L and K, both from the cutoff and the button, to call as well. But when action gets over to Mark in the big blind, he decides to 3-bet to 550. Phil continues, and there's honestly no way I'm folding 9-10 suited either. I make the call, and so does K and L, so it's an absolute party here. We're going to go 5 ways to a flop in a 3-bet pot. The flop comes king 8-8 rainbow with 1 heart. So we pretty much flop absolute air 5 ways. And when it checks to us, we're just gonna check. Luckily, it does end up checking around, so we get to see a free turn card. The turn comes the 6 of diamonds, which gives us some hope in the form of a gut shot. Obviously, it's not much, but at least it's something. And now when Mark and Phil both check it over to me, I think it's a pretty good time to start bluffing. I'm pretty sure no one really has anything good at this point. So I decide to stab here for 1750 with plans to unload the clip on any non-diamond river. One by one, they all fold around. So ramping up the aggression here in this multi-way pot does end up paying off as we drag this one in. We're sitting very close to the top of the cumulative winnings board with around a 25K profit on the session. Obviously a pretty good result here. Not finishing in first place, but finishing pretty close to it. We're still playing post stream. I got keep you guys updated, see what happens at the end of everything. Probably no hand histories from this, but we're still playing, we're still battling. As you can see, whole table back there. So yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, he's gonna need that one over there also. You guys coming back tomorrow?
Yeah,
I'll be here tomorrow.
You showed me like just posts.
You're up like
Brian, let me know, how did this session go today, Rich Asian Bro?
We did well. We played well. We're up a lot of money. Up 25, almost 25 G's today. Something light for the kid.
Can't complain.
Can't complain. Pretty happy. Not bad. Lost 10K yesterday, but today we climbed out.
Yes,
so now
sir.
we're up 15 on the last 2 days, but we played well, I feel like, today, so very happy.
All right, Justin, better known as Gambling for My Girlfriend. He was in the booth today. What did you think of our play today?
You guys played phenomenally. I think the announcer was very supportive of you, Kenny. You played really good. You were picking some hot hands, like kings, queens. You were picking some crazy hands, but you guys did really good. I think you guys played very well.
We were in for 10,000, out for 38,840. So profited almost 30K on this session. Absolutely insane. I just ran like a god, to be honest. Didn't do anything too special. Yeah, there were just a couple spots that were tough, but I think I ramped up the aggression in the spots where it mattered. I got max value when I needed to get max value, and I just overall ran hot, had a lot of good cards, and when cards come your way, the boards come in your favor. Usually what happens is you win big. Let's go. All right, guys, well, we've made it home. What a crazy session today was. What a crazy day overall. In for $10,000, out for 38,840 for a total profit of 28K and some change. Absolutely insane. It's my third biggest win of my entire career so far. So obviously just a massive win. We're gonna be back again tomorrow playing at the same stream. So stay tuned. Next week's video is gonna be even crazier. In terms of things that I thought went well during the stream, to be honest, everything, right? Like I was just sun running for the entire stream, picking up hands. And while I didn't really make any mistakes, I feel like it was just more so I was just like oftentimes betting for value. You know, when you're running hot and the cards are kind of coming in your favor and you know you're smashing boards, it's pretty easy to play good. You know, you just bet because you have a good hand, and that's kind of what I was doing for the majority of the day. Tomorrow might be a little different. We'll see what happens, but excited for you guys to follow along this journey. If you guys like this video, make sure you stay tuned for next week because the next vlog is even crazier. Let's go.